What's going on, guys? Got a special guest here coming to you from Pelican at this awesome event. I got Peter Day with me. What's going on, Peter?
Good. Glad to be here. This is an exciting event. This event is it's about 100 or 200 super affiliates. So these are some of the best affiliates really in our space, and we're spending 2 days here just networking and learning, and I really like this event so far.
Yeah, it's cool. It feels more like intimate, more private. There's no newbie questions, and there's some big players in the room, right? So both on the lead side and the pay-per-call side. So Peter, just give yourself a little bit of an introduction. Who are you? I know you, I've followed you for a while, right, in the affiliate space, but who are you? How'd you get started in this, just doing lead gen, affiliate marketing, pay-per-call?
Yeah, so it all started when I was about 19 or 20 years old, and my brother was probably 16 at the time because he's a bit younger. So my brother and I have been in this industry at this point for a long time. I mean, I'm 32 years old, and so even though we're young, we have about 12 years experience. So this all started with my brother and I started dabbling in some ads, and we always had this kind of relationship where my brother was running the ads, and I was working on getting the deals. That's kind of how our business got started. So our biggest success started with a campaign we ran about 8 years ago with this rent-to-own campaign. So it was a lead gen campaign we were running on Facebook. And that campaign was working really well for about a year or two. And then what happened was we kind of fell into this newbie trap a little bit. You guys watching probably have experienced this type of thing. You have this one winning campaign, and then what happens?
It dies.
It falls apart. Yeah. So through this experience, it was kind of like the worst thing at the time, but the best thing for us, because what happened was it taught us a lot of lessons, because we were totally green to the industry, and we probably fell into the same trap as a lot of you guys, right? Like we were running the campaign, we were making all this money, it just wasn't even crossing our mind
that it could stop,
that it could fall apart. It just wasn't even a thought, you know. And looking back at it, it's like, it's ridiculous that we weren't even, I guess we were just newer to the industry, and it just wasn't crossing our mind that something would fall. And then it's like the perfect storm happened. So a couple years later, it's like the buyers stopped buying, the traffic on Facebook got more expensive.
You got banned, right?
Yeah, we started getting bans more regularly. So on Facebook, it was banning our rental. So it was like the perfect storm happened. And then, and we were so kind of stupid too at the time. We thought the money was never gonna end. So, it's like I ran out and bought a car in cash. It's like, did I really need to do that? It's like, and then literally 2 months later, it just all falls apart and we're making no money. And I had just, spent 60, 70 grand full cash. It's like, looking back on it, I could have just financed the car and kept the 70 grand. But it's like...
Was it a nice car?
Not really. We still have the car though. So
I would hope so. You paid in cash for it.
It was just a brand new Ford Explorer Limited with all the bells and whistles. But they're still not the cheapest cars. I mean, a Ford Explorer is still like $65. But yeah, we still have it, and it's so I guess it's maybe a good purchase after all. But so then what happened was we went through kind of this scary period of making no money. I mean, we went from being these up-and-coming successful affiliates to just basically making nothing. We had about couple hundred grand in the bank, and for the next year, Tyler and I basically just lived on the money in the business bank account. The bank account just went from 100 grand to 90 to 70, and we basically just paid our bills out of it. And
were you testing other offers?
We were trying everything we possibly could to make money. I mean, we were trying e-commerce. We were trying, we even for a period of time worked as a media buyer for another company, a little job. But we were trying everything. And then what happened was we finally found another good campaign. It took about a year, and we started promoting this campaign called Sticker. So Sticker is, it's still around. It's just not, maybe it's just not working as well these days. But you might have seen it. It's this offer. It's called Sticker Co. And it's this offer where basically it's a car decal, and you can put the decal on your car, and it's like a biz op. So the person puts the sticker on their car, and then they get paid to drive. And this thing really took off for us because we met with the guy who owned the offer, and at the time he was doing like $1,000 or $2,000 per day on Facebook, but he was really not the best Facebook marketer and stuff. He was just kind of making it work. And what was running through my brother and I in our heads is like, man, like if this guy is actually making a couple grand a day on Facebook with this thing, and he really doesn't really know what he's doing, it's like this.
Shows how good the offer is.
Yeah, it's what we saw with this thing. It's like this offer was hot. So my brother and I cut a really good deal with this guy. We cut a deal to where basically we would take over all of his traffic and almost form like an informal business partnership. It's not like we became 50-50 on his business, but we signed an advertising agreement to where we would handle like everything, and then we would split the net profits 50-50. So we signed a really good deal with this guy, and it was a pretty serious deal. So we paid like thousands of dollars to have a lawyer like draft up this thing, because it's like this was no joke of a deal. And basically this became like our next big campaign. Tyler crushed it on advertising. So what Tyler did was he was living in South Carolina at the time, and he was leasing a blue Porsche Macan. It's probably like, if you guys visit like the Optimize to Convert website, it's like those Porsches that are on the site. So we crushed it with this Get Paid to Drive campaign, because what Tyler did was we started making video shoots of the Porsche and stuff, like him driving around with the Porsche, and we got like good looking girls and had them like putting the stickers on the car, like get paid. It literally crushed it. It crushed it.
For every dollar you put in the ads, what would come back in rev?
It was like the best campaign, and we just absolutely crushed it. We, in a very short period of time, we took it from $1,000 or $2,000 a day to like a $20,000 to $30,000 a day revenue campaign, but the profit margin was like fat on it. It was literally like,
you spent like $10K a day or something.
Yeah, it was like we were like doubling the money. So it was like $10,000, $15,000 days of profit.
It's like my Camp Lejeune story. Yeah, I know you do.
In the beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah,
it's
like
a little saturated now, maybe.
Yeah, no, but a year ago, dude, if you ran Camp Lejeune,
it was just like printing money.
It's like this. 3 for every 1.
These are the campaigns. It's like, I mean, this is kind of the secret of the business, is finding
a unicorn.
Because like you said, it's all about the offer. You could be the best media buyer. You could literally make the best videos. You can make the best ad copy, but it's all about the offer, right? It's like, who cares like how good your copywriting skills is or how good your video ads is.
Let the offer carry you. We just ran a short-term campaign before they went to court, but it was for a health device. I'm not going to say the device. Everyone's probably going to go look it up after this. But during our testing, we were seeing like $1.50 back for every dollar we spent just in our testing. Once we scaled it, we were spending $5,000 to $10,000 a day. We saw $2 for every dollar we spent. Yeah. Just leads, no calls, no back-end revenue, nothing. And that was like a short run. It had like a 4-week span, and then it paused as a tort. You know how it's sometimes more complicated in the legal space. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, it's the nature of the game.
It's all about the offer, because if you have a really good offer, you don't have to be the best media buyer. You can just put together.
You don't have to sell, you're just presenting it.
Yeah, and you can even depends on what the offer is. Like if it's a lead gen or an e-com, if it's a really good offer, you could even just direct link on Facebook too. It's like, yeah, maybe you don't even need to make a landing page, and just focus on the scripts, the ad copy, and it sells itself. So then we finally, this offer was an exciting offer. We saturated this offer. I mean, we personally saturated it. I mean, we hit, and no one else was marketing it because he didn't have any other affiliates. we also signed an exclusive agreement, so he couldn't bring on other kind of like day brother
So it's like the best of both worlds. You had exclusive rights
to something that was
to advertise
super
something
hot.
that no one else had.
It was
That was a good offer.
It was also super unique. Like there's no other offers out there like just get paid to drive your car. I mean, there's Uber, and this was very special.
Like, why wouldn't you do it? Like, why would someone not do it?
Yeah, so it would almost be worth us maybe even revisiting that offer.
Revamping it.
Yeah, because we saturated it so hard to the point where we couldn't make it work anymore. Like we just pushed it.
Was this
so
when Uber
hard.
was huge? Let's say every Uber, if you made it like a Uber drivers get paid to drive,
put-
that'd be a killer offer.
It was just so attractive in general. The monetization was tricky on the offer. So it was a very strategic partnership though, because we worked with the client, not only on the ads, but as soon as because this was a very like involved relationship, it was 50-50 of the profits. So
You were the media partner.
yeah, we were
Right,
like a
yeah.
real partner.
Not just
media.
affiliate.
It wasn't just affiliate. It was a media partner, agency of record, and we the owner of the offer even gave us access to like the CRM, and we were able to see like how many people were doing.
You're in bed with them basically, right? Like,
So
which is great. You get the transparency, which a lot of times
So
you don't
then here's how we took this offer to the next level. So the offer was doing pretty well, but then I had this genius idea of promoting Lyft on the thank you page, because basically his offer was about selling the sticker. Like the money was really made in like selling the sticker. Like he sold people the sticker and then people got paid to drive. But then his thank you page was just like saying thank you. It was like, thank you for signing up, check your email. And then at the very same time, I had an affiliate network that was pitching me Lyft, a lead gen version of Lyft. It was become a Lyft driver, lead gen version, and the payout was ridiculous. It was like $45 for this like first page submit. And I was able to get this offer because I had a really good relationship with this affiliate network. So then I actually got this fully approved with the network. I went to the network and said, listen, we got this paid to drive offer. Like, here's the offer, like full transparency. Here's the funnel. Here's the thank you page. And here's the exact like vocabulary that's going to be on the thank you page. And we got this approved with Lyft through the network. The second we did the Lyft thing, it just took to a whole nother level.
It was free money.
Dude, it was free money, and we started making like 5 or 10 grand a day of extra free
On top.
profit
So
on only the Lyft
For
thing.
every 10 people that got the sticker, how
There was
many
probably like one Lyft or something, right? It was crazy.
were you using, like SMS and email to push them to do it, or not even? You weren't even touching it.
So the SMS and email was very oriented towards selling the stickers still. We didn't want to like sabotage that,
Yeah.
but so what we did was we pitched the Lyft right there on the thank you page, and it was a great pitch. At the time, the compliance was a little bit more relaxed too on Lyft. Like I think the rules have changed these days.
With TCPA and stuff.
You can't really promise to, but at the time, we actually got approved to literally use vocabulary with dollar amounts, like earn up to. So we had a thank you page. Thank you for signing up. Check your email for sticker, and by the way, you can be earning up to X amount for becoming a Lyft driver. Click here to apply. They clicked this big green button. It went to a first page submit. The first page submit paid $45 for like 6 fields, and the EPC was $10 because about 1 out of 4 just like filled out.
That means earnings per click.
Earning per click,
yeah.
right? So it
For
was.
every click, you got $10 basically.
So if it's a $40 offer, and 1 out of every 4 is doing it, it backs out to $10 EPC. The offer the reason why this deal kind of fell apart was that the Lyft thing lasted. This was a real catapult to our success though, because we were able to build up a strong like savings account. I mean, like in this industry, it's really important to have like cash reserves and like just in case you have to weather a storm. It's like, let's say you have a big winning campaign and it falls apart, you have to have those cash reserves.
Hold on, man. Keep testing, yeah.
I was reading a book on the plane coming to Tampa, and I recommend this book. It's called The Ultimate Business Blueprint by this guy, I think it's like Keith Cunningham.
Yeah.
And it's a great book. And some of the principles in it are so simplistic, but it's like, okay, like, you know, it's kind of a light bulb moment. It's like the guy basically says, you know, when you run out of cash, you know, you run out of business. Like your business is done if you run out of cash, right? So it's like, that's what Tyler and I have been learning over the years too. It's like, no matter how much money you make, you want to be wise in what you do with that money. Like you don't want to be one of those stupid affiliates that just like makes $1 million and then you buy the Lamborghini for like 300 grand.
Cash,
you buy a house for like 800 grand and then it's like you have like no cash. The cash is really important because you just never know what's going to happen. You just don't know if like the economy is just going to go downhill. Like you don't know.
So you learn the hard way how to fix, like create something unique that most people couldn't get access to, negotiate like a really unique deal, right? So fast forward to 2019, 2020, 2021, we're in freaking 2023 now. What's been happening the last few years? I actually found you guys on YouTube.
Yeah.
They've been putting out awesome content. We'll link to their channel below this video. But I saw them in the affiliate space. They kind of taught me a lot about affiliate marketing before I really got into it. And let's also be very clear too, affiliate marketing as a whole gets a very it's like a mixed bag of like good and bad, right? You hear the worst things and the best things. At the real like foundation of it, it's lead generation. Or it's
like
acquisition,
right?
whether
it's
conversion.
Whether it's you're generating a lead or a pay-per call or it's all about the traffic. And
Yep.
That's why
typically
I'm excited
paid,
about,
typically paid at least for us. We're not like pushing people to like crazy scammy offers. This is all lead generation or CPA based, where like you get paid when they complete an action, a purchase, or whatever it may be. So give us a recap of the last few years. What have you guys been doing? You and your brother, and obviously your media team.
So going back to the original story too about how the thing fell apart, that first campaign, we learned from that lesson. And when we had success with the get paid to drive offer, our mindset that time was very, very different. Our mindset was like, what if this does fall apart? What if this does, like, these thoughts was not running through our minds when we first got started in affiliate marketing. At first it was like this naiveness of like, oh my goodness, like we're making more money than like everyone around us, or it's going to last forever, or like we can now afford to buy a car every month, or like whatever. It's like it was this just ridiculous naiveness, and the mindset this time around was so different. It was like, what if this just like breaks like tomorrow? Like, what if Lyft tells
You're ready. You're mentally prepared for shit.
And
to fall apart.
It kind of taught us a different mindset, and this new I have to admit, like this new mindset has been sometimes a little bit stressful, but I think it's a very good mindset. Like my mindset now is it's been looking for what could possibly go wrong, but then making sure that it doesn't go wrong. And this has been a game changer for my business. Again, it's been kind of a stressful kind of mindset, because it's like if you're thinking all day, like what could go wrong? It's like you're like, oh no, like what if this breaks?
Your focus is in the wrong place almost.
It's like it's almost like a little negative thinking maybe, but I love it at the same time. It reminds me of Mark Cuban. I saw this interview on YouTube where it's like Mark Cuban and this other guy, and they're talking about like a healthy paranoia. Like it's like you have to be paranoid maybe, but in a healthy way. And I love the kind of thinking though, because it's helped us to grow a big business. Like it helps you to not get comfortable. So when we were running the Get Paid to Drive offer, we had this new mindset. So while we were succeeding on that offer, we were working our butts off. What is going to be the third winning campaign, the fourth winning campaign? How can we diversify outside of this campaign? How can we get like another deal going? Our mindset was so different because it wasn't just about this campaign. The focus was about like, okay, we're thankful for this campaign, but like, you know, what's the next like 10 campaigns? What's the next 20? And that's really one of the big reasons why our business has succeeded so much over the last like recent like 3 to 5 years, is because it's like you can never have enough diversity. It's like and we've learned so bad like the hard way of going from like
it's usually how you learn best, man.
Again, it's like it was like the worst thing at the time, but I'm so thankful. So now it's all our business now is so diversified. I mean, we run traffic in like health insurance, auto insurance, lead gen, pay-per calls, e-commerce. We literally we have over 500 clients or advertisers that we work with on a monthly basis. We're literally invoicing and billing hundreds of advertisers and clients on a monthly basis, and we want to grow that. So it's like it's all stemmed from these failures and learning from these mistakes, and then taking the opposite approach. Like what's the opposite of just running one campaign? Well, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. It's like how many can you do? So
someone, I want your advice after all these years of doing this. You've been doing this for almost like 10 years, right?
12
years. You're so young, man. Like, I'm 35. You're 33
I started
now,
at
right?
19. I started it in my dorm room, basically, at college. I went to University of Connecticut, and it was like while I was at college, I was just on my computer trying to figure out this make money online, and
just cracked it.
Just grinding away. And then my wife was a trooper too, because when I graduated from college, I still wasn't at the point where I was like supporting myself. So there was a year or two where I was still trying to figure this stuff out, and she was working as a nurse, paying the rent for me and stuff. So it's like
to be the crazy internet guy.
I'm just really thankful for that, because it's like she had faith in what I was doing. It would have been harder for me to succeed if I had to go get a day job, because I would have
like those few hours to try to figure it out and risk your money and everything. Yeah.
I would have only had a little bit, and also since she was paying all the bills, I was able to risk like the $5,000 a month that I was making. I was able to reinvest it all back into the business. I was able to lose it completely if something went wrong, and it's like
not everyone gets that.
Yeah. What was the question though? I feel like we deviated.
That's the fun part of these. So the question is, I want you to talk to two types of people, okay? Because you have years of experience, you've had a ton of success, and you've had failures and challenges along the way. So someone that's thinking of getting into affiliate marketing, lead generation, pay-per-call, what's some advice you have for them? And then someone that's been in this space for a while as an affiliate, someone that runs traffic, what advice do you have for someone that wants to take their game to the next level?
Yeah, so I'll talk to the newbies at first, kind of the new people. Okay, my biggest advice to the new people is to not give up. I either made up this quote or I heard this quote, but there's a quote out there where the only way to fail is by giving up. And what I've seen in the affiliate space is that the affiliates that have really been persistent, they've eventually made it work. And the affiliates that haven't made it work have been these guys that have like tried it for like a year or two and then just like threw in the towel. But looking back on it, like all these affiliates that I can, name like a handful of these guys that were just struggling for like 2 to 6 years. But it's like, when I look at these affiliates now, that they're all like actually making it work and stuff. So it's like, I think you have to not give up. And then I think it is important to be in a position where you don't have to give it up. So like, if you don't have a wife or a girlfriend or parents, if you don't have like some kind of other to like support you financially while you're figuring it out, you might have to get that job, and then you might have to do your affiliate marketing, at night or off hours. But it is important to be in a position where you're at least, paying your rent and covering your bills, so that you're not under that much pressure. It's like,
even the pressure's bad, or does it depend on the person?
You just don't want to be under the pressure, because it's like, you don't want to be in a position where like you have to make this affiliate stuff work, and if you don't in like 6 months, it's like, you just want to be in a position where you're able to just, make it work. Like whether it's 6 months or 4 months, or even if it takes you 5 years, even if you have to work a 9-to-5 job and then you have to do your affiliate marketing from 6 p.m. until 1 in the morning, you can still get in a lot of hours, and that's kind of what I did with school. Like I graduated from University of Connecticut. Like, yes, I met my wife towards the tail end of school. Yes, she was like supporting financially, but still I was in school when I was doing affiliate marketing too. And I had to go to class. I had to pass the class. I still had to study. And, but I grinded it out. Like sometimes I would finish my school stuff at 6 p.m. and then I was up until 3 a.m. doing my business stuff. So, so for the newbies, just don't give up. Have a mindset where it's like you're just not going to give up. You're just gonna keep persisting until it succeeds. And then for the advanced affiliate, I would probably follow this principle we've been talking about, diversity. Because even at this conference, I'm not going to name names, but half the people I talk to, they're only doing one or two things. They're either succeeding on, like an auto insurance or this or that. Like, it's like there's still like a huge lack of diversity. So that's what I recommend for the advanced people, is make it so that this is not just like a one vertical or two vertical kind of unicorn type of thing. Think outside of the box. Like, what do you have to do to be doing, let's say, 10 verticals simultaneously? And it's like that's still a really big mistake I see with even the best of the best super affiliates. They're doing 100 grand a day, 50 grand a day on one or two things, but there's still a risk there, possibly. Like, what if that one vertical falls apart? What if it becomes a little harder?
Regulation changes in the courts if it's tort.
Yeah, there's even regulations.
Things can change fast.
There's regulations, and there's a lot of affiliates doing this like ACA thing, right? And it's like right now is pretty lenient, but it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years from now there's like serious regulation about like this, because it's a government.
Like Medicare.
ACA is a government-funded program, right? And it's like if the government is involved, maybe there could be giant. But it's like, but that's risky. Like if you're an affiliate and you're doing like 50 grand a day on ACA, and that's all you do, you've spent like years only focusing on that, and then if some crazy regulation happens, but anything could happen. Like you could lose your ACA buyer. Like you could lose like one or two buyers, and then next thing you know, instead of 50 grand a day, it's like $5,000 of ACA, and then what if you built a big team around it too? What if you have all this overhead? You build media buyer staff, and it's just stress. So it's like, if you're advanced, focus on the diversity. In my opinion, you can never have too much diversity. Like if you have 20 verticals, it's probably better than 10 verticals, and 10 is better than 2, and just focus on the diversity. Don't get comfortable if you're advanced. Don't get comfortable. Don't think to yourself, I'm making 100 grand a month, like now I can sit back and buy all these cars and just blow money. It's like don't get comfortable, because it's like anything could happen at any time. And
where do you see the industry going?
Well, I see it maybe getting more regulated in some verticals that are more regulatory, but I don't know. It's a really good question. I mean, I see it depends on who you're talking to and what kind of sector of the industry they're in, right? Because it's kind of different. Like if you're a black hat affiliate doing Nutra or something, like that's going to be a very different like industry than like somebody doing insurance but where I see the industry at least going for us and our company is working with more professional companies, right? Like instead of working with
one-off small buyers,
aggregators, it's like we're literally landing deals with like Liberty Mutual, auto insurance, and like Geico, and we're prospecting State Farm, and it's like where the industry is going for us is working with these Fortune 500 like publicly traded. I know that's the direction it's heading for us, is working with companies that are just your mainstream company. I mean, we believe some of the biggest money is just working with the companies that are really making America work, the Aetnas and the Cignas and whatever. Yeah,
they're not going anywhere.
And their marketing budgets are huge. But again, it takes quite a relationship to tap into those kind of things. It takes an expertise. It takes like a professionalism. Even myself, like maybe I'm a little bit more professional. Like I dress up it's like, because I just feel like that's maybe where things are heading for our company. But again, it depends on what you're doing though, because let's say you're really into like e-commerce, that could look so different for you. Like maybe if your e-com, where the business is going for you is like really developing like your own e-com brand that's going to sell for like $50 million. It's like, it's just
get your exit.
It's different, right? So, I would also say stay on top of your game, right? It's like, why are we at this Peloton conference? Is like one of the main reasons I'm here is to stay like current, right? Like up to speed. It's like if your affiliate's just like sitting in your room or your apartment or something, you might be missing.
You're not growing too. You're not connecting. You're not networking. you're gonna miss opportunities.
You're not gonna know. Like it's like I come to this conference and I'm learning, like, okay, what is the hottest things right now? What are the next best things? What are the things we should be like getting into? And if you're just like in your room or something behind the computer all the time, it's like you can go for years and you could just not know what even like exists. So it's like stay current and everything. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, dude, how can everyone find you? We'll obviously link back, but why don't you tell them about your channel? And...
Yeah, so our company is Optimized to Convert. So to find us is very simple. You can go to optimizedtoconvert.com. There's a little button that says free community. If you sign up there, you get on our nice training newsletter. We put out a lot of training. And then also Optimized to Convert YouTube channel. And we're really focused on just giving a lot of value because, again, when Tyler and I started as affiliates, there was not that many people that was giving this kind of advice. Seriously, like if someone just told Tyler and I at the time to be like, just a heads up, this campaign could fall apart. It's like, if someone had just told us that, it's like we could have saved ourselves maybe that year of making no money. It's like, so we're really passionate now about giving this advice back to the community, like these lessons we've learned. And it was kind of this advice that we never had. So we're focused on building out this value. And we don't really have strings attached with this value either. Like we put it out there just to, for really, it helps our reputation, it's goodwill, but there's no strings attached. Like we're not trying to sell a info product at the end or something. It's just, free value. So
cool. Well, I appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Thanks for the time too. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.